All right, so Creepshow Season 2 has begun. We have one episode so far. And if you guys followed my reviews for the other season 1, and the two specials that they've had, the animated one and the holiday one, you guys know that I'm consistently underwhelmed with this show. I don't think it's horrendous or anything, but I'm definitely not wowed by it, nor do I really, get excited about it or recommend it to anybody much. And so when I saw that this was coming out and I saw the trailer, I saw that there was a lot of really familiar faces, which is cool, but unless the show's good, who gives a shit, right? So this dropped a few days ago. I've been very busy lately, and I have not been able to get to any reviews of any sort. But I have watched a decent amount of stuff, one of them being this episode, which I did the day that it aired, whenever that was. And the first episode, or the first segment of this two-part episode, because every episode from the seasons have two parts to them, one story each. And the first part of this was kind of a take on the wraparound segment of the first Creepshow movie. The kid gets mad at the dad, and so he gets something from the Creepshow magazine to get his vengeance. This stars Kevin Dillon, who plays... Now, Kevin Dillon isn't his father in this, but pretty similar to Tom Atkins' character in the first Creepshow, which this should be an homage to. And this kid is obsessed with monsters, monster movies, anything monster-related, Universal era specifically, that 1930s, 1940s. Dracula, Frankenstein's monster, Creature from the Black Lagoon, you get it. And his mother is sick, and something ends up happening, and now he's with these people. And this episode was just kind of whatever to me. It's always great to see Kevin Dillon. He can play such a douchebag so well. It always makes me wonder how this guy is in real life. Some people give those performances all the time, and you're like, is this acting, or are you just kind of an asshole like this? But I love Kevin Dillon, so seeing him here was great. But the first segment of this was just kind of ho-hum. It felt a little too familiar, whether it be that wraparound segment from Creepshow, or it actually kind of reminds me a little bit also of the segment in Tales from the Hood, with the kid who does the drawings. But yeah, I mean, I don't really have much to say about this one other than it's whatever. It's fine, I guess. But then we get into the second segment, which is called like Public Television for the Dead, I want to say, something along those lines. And this one has got to be one of the most surprising things I've watched in a while, and that's not because it's amazing or anything. It's good. It's definitely something you should watch. But what took me by such surprise with this episode is what it so heavily connects to, almost as if it's like a meta sequel to the Evil Dead franchise. This really, I was like, wait, what is happening right now? I don't want to get too heavy into spoilers with this, but essentially, I mean, I guess it's kind of going to be spoilery-ish. So if you want to avoid that at all, and that's good enough for you, the Evil Dead thing, you should, if you're a big Evil Dead fan, you got to see this episode. Okay, you just got to at least watch it. You might not love it or even like it, I don't know. But it's definitely something you should have have seen if you are a fan of the Evil Dead franchise. But now, having said that, I'm going to kind of get into a little bit of a spoiler-ish discussion about the episode. I'm not going to go full details on it or anything, just the things that I thought were the most noteworthy here. So in the episode, Ted Raimi himself, playing himself, brings on to a show that's selling antiques or something. What's that show in real life, like Antique Roadshow? It kind of reminds me of something like that. I've never watched an episode of that, but that's, I'm assuming, what that show is kind of like. You bring something on and they tell you what its value is, almost like Pawn Stars or something. And he brings out the Necronomicon straight up from Evil Dead, and he's like, this has been in my family for a long time, which of course Sam Raimi, his brother, made the Evil Dead films, and he has the fucking book. And then when the guy opens it up, he reads from it, and everyone turns into fucking deadites, and they act and look and are straight up deadites. The way they move, the way they're shot, the whole fucking thing. Ted Raimi brings in the Necronomicon, and then there's a character who is being based off of Bob Ross. I mean, it's straight up Bob Ross. They don't say that name, but it's fucking Bob Ross. And then it turns into Bob Ross versus the Evil Dead, which just sounds phenomenal. And it's so cool that this was done. So that's why I'm saying it's a must watch for any Evil Dead fan for sure. But yet again, at the end of the day with this show, the budget limits it, and there only can be so much done here. And while I was watching it, I'm like, wow, I was like going to my phone, like, holy shit, this is like Bob Ross versus Evil Dead, straight up like Evil Dead universe. This is crazy. But as I said, a meta version, because it's Ted Raimi himself versus some character that he's playing. But with this show, it's always just very ho-hum on the side of like gore and gags that really land for me and make me laugh and go, this is cool. It feels like a knockoff Ash vs. Evil Dead, and it's not anywhere near as good. Like, Ash vs. Evil Dead is amazing and fucking awesome, and every episode is super fun and has good gore, and it feels like a higher production value, and obviously the characters are fantastic. And in this one, I liked it. This is definitely the best segment for me in the entire Creepshow show so far, for sure. A lot of that has to do with the fact that it's tied to the Evil Dead film so much, and it's such a familiar thing to me. But it doesn't matter. I like the idea of the Bob Ross versus the Evil Dead, the way that it's done, Ted Raimi coming in, whatever. That's so cool. But this show still runs into the same problems as it always does. It runs into budgetary issues and just a cheapness to it. Even in the writing, even in everything, it just feels cheap. But it's still watchable. So it's kind of like, you can watch it, it's fine. But I just wish it was amazing. Because something like this, I wish they did this entire segment. This should have been the special. This should have been their holiday special or whatever. Throw some Christmas shit in there or whatever, and then fucking put Ted Raimi in there with the Necronomicon and give it a little bit more budget, make it the full 45 minutes, and this shit would be talked about like crazy. But for what it is and what we got out of it, it's very cool. I shouldn't say very cool. It's cool. It's cool that it exists, but I'm not gonna continue to keep being redundant here. But those are my thoughts on the Creepshow franchise, and I don't know how much that's going to change. I feel like I've said this probably in past reviews on this show. I feel like I'm saying the same thing every episode. But because I wasn't even going to honestly cover this season, and I might not cover any other episodes, but I had to talk about fucking Bob Ross versus Evil Dead. I just had to. That blew my mind. I was like, what am I watching? This is new, unique and definitely noteworthy, as I'd said. But anyways, have you seen it? Do you have Shudder? I'm the guy that's like pushing Shudder every 5 seconds, even though they don't, sponsor me or anything. But that's okay. I truly believe in the product, and that's why I push it, because I think they have so many great things. I am going to be talking about a Shudder film. Oh no, wait. No, I already did that. I did it last week. I forgot. I thought I hadn't fucking reviewed it yet, but I have reviewed it. Okay, never mind. I don't need to review that one, but whatever. Anyways, let me know if you watch this. Adios.